afternoon. So today we've come on here to discuss a couple of things around Fusion, because Fusion is happening in a week's time. And we just wanted to talk about the theme of Fusion and some of the things that we're going to cover during the session. So my name is Amanda. I run Cougar, and I am a customer journey specialist. And this is Jay. So, yeah.
And I'm the founder of My TrueNORTH and the creatrix of ADDAZERO. And we've come together to form Fusion, where customer journey meets business mastery. We've spent most of the morning finalizing exactly what the program looks like and is going to include. And we thought it was probably best to be able to share that with you, our potential audience of people coming to join us on the 14th of June.
So the theme is about sustainability. Let's talk about that first and foremost. Because the thing that I've noticed, particularly with my clients and what we've now discovered with yours, is that most people want sustainability with two different things. Sustainability with their bank account and sustainability with regards to the marketing and the efforts they're putting into that, the consistency. So everything is working towards the end result, the end goal of what the clients that we work with want, whether that's to grow to 1 million, whether that's to grow an extra 100,000 or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. The end result doesn't really matter. It's just the thing that they are looking for is the sustainability of the business. So they don't have the feast and famine kind of cycle that we all go through at certain stages in business. So yes, let's talk about that.
Okay, because like you've said, so many businesses can go through that boom or bust, the food or famine. And yet by being able to put some strategy in place and plan and understand exactly what causes that and how to address it, it doesn't have to be the case. But beyond that and beyond the bank account, it's all about being able to understand that if you're here to be able to create a business for good, if you're here to be able to make a proper impact and impression, as opposed to simply trying to generate some cash and run away before the taxman arrives, then it's about being able to create a sustainable business model that allows you to be able to continue to grow and develop even beyond your active role within the business.
Because you help businesses exit, and I help businesses attract and retain clients. And that, I think that's the beauty of us doing Fusion, is because we come at it from two different perspectives. I'm looking at the internal and external, and you're looking at the growth to get to a certain place, whether you're wanting to sell the business on, to take some money out of it,
or simply retire from the day-to-day function of it and still allow it to continue to grow and develop and to give you an income without you having to be a slave to it.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things that you're going to be covering during the Fusion, because today we've actually finally finalized how our stuff entwines, intermingles, combines, and basically forms that Fusion, which is quite exciting. I'm looking at it here in front of me, and there's a lot that we're going to be covering. So let's just talk about what you're going to be covering, and not necessarily give it all away, but give people an understanding of what they can expect when it comes to coming along to Fusion.
Okay, let's do that.
So start. So what are you going to talk about to start with?
Well, first of all, I want us to address the fact that 80% of business owners are wrong about everything. And why knowing that is good for you in your business. I'm not trying to be able to slate or put anybody down, but I want us to be able to share some really quite stark facts that enable people to understand that perhaps you're doing all of the right things in the wrong order, and by simply amending the order can have such a transformational impact on both you and your business. And we'll cover the 3 common flaws that so many businesses fall into, which create that bottleneck or that glass ceiling to which so many business owners struggles to be able to move beyond, and how to be able to address those in order to be able to smash through the ceiling and continue to grow and develop.
And then from there, I'm going to be talking about feelings, because feelings are things that happen every single day and actually take you out when it comes to growing a business. Whether you believe that you can succeed or even fail is a fear that you have. Everybody has lots of different beliefs, feelings, especially when it comes to marketing. Smaller businesses have the feelings of, oh, are people going to want to hear me? Am I talking to no one, essentially? Or what am I going to say? Who is it that's going to actually want to read, watch, or interact with what I've got going on? So we also talk about identity. I'm not going to go into that right now because I think that that's going to potentially scare people, but actually it's a massive part of being in business. And this isn't about faking it until you make it at all. It's about understanding who you are and how you show up in that business so that you can succeed. So yeah, there's quite a few bits. And bearing in mind, looking at this, we've actually created 8 sessions. You're delivering 4, I'm delivering 4. And these 8 sessions are, partially the business, the numbers, and mastering what you need to be looking at, which is where you come in. And from my perspective, it's right to get those numbers. These are the things that you need to do in your marketing to help you get the result that you're actually after. So what happens after the identity? Where do we go with next?
Like you say, I don't want to give the whole game away because otherwise people are going to be wondering as to what's left to deliver on the day. But another key section of what I want to be able to talk about is the game of business, as I call it. And we've probably all heard that expression that the business of business is business. And most people say, well, what does that actually mean? So I want to get into the 7 critical numbers that every single business owner shouldn't just know, but should know on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis that they can make decisions on that'll move the needle from growth to scale. I want to properly get into the detail of these 7 key numbers that every business owner, doesn't matter whether you're a startup or a really well-established business, doesn't matter whether you're in clicks or bricks or whether you're in service or in product, 7 key fundamental numbers that once you know what they are, you can now start to play the game and understand the things that you can do in business to be able to influence those 7 numbers that'll have a transformational and literally catalyst for both you and your business in how to be able to move it forward.
Yeah, I remember, to be fair, I remember when I started working with you a number of years ago and we talked about these numbers and it was like, oh my God, these are game changers. And when you have these mentally and you know what these things are, you come to business from a different perspective because you're looking at each new client in a different way and how they're going to help you grow that business. And, today has been interesting, hasn't it? It's like, who's covering what, when we're speaking, how is this going to work? You can't say that, or I can't say that, or who's going to, because there are elements of where we do cross over. And there are times where we actually don't agree as well. Would you say that's correct?
Well, there's more than one way to be able to grow a business and there's more than one angle to be able to come at it. I think the benefit of Fusion is the fact that we're coming from 2 completely different angles, from 2 completely different experiences and backgrounds, to be able to come to a end point, which will be to be able to deliver a proper bespoke training to each and every person in the room, and with the opportunity of not just a Q&A, but a hot seat session to enable people to truly embed everything that we've taught and shared over the course of the day before they leave with an action plan.
And they're going to get a workbook because we're creating the workbook as well. And it might sound like we're only just doing these things a week before, but you've got to remember, we've never worked together before. We've worked for each other with clients, but we've never done something together. So this is a whole new learning curve for both of us. And it's interesting to see how each other work and our mindsets around how we move clients from one place to another based on who they are, what they're looking for, the size of business, how much they want to grow, and all of that kind of thing. And I don't know, would you like to talk about the experience that we've had today?
Yeah, I mean, it's been particularly interesting to determine as to how both of us have looked at the end game of what we want to achieve for our clients on the day, and then how best that we're going to be able to put that experience together and dovetail off each other to determine as to who's the right person, what's the best experience, what's the right examples, how best to be able to deliver the contents to ensure that the people in the room have got a truly immersive experience that they can go away with, and something that perhaps they've never experienced before in the way in which we're going to deliver it. But beyond that, I think for me, I look on this and think, my God, I only wish that this had been available when I started business 17 or 18 years ago, to be able to look at what we're going to deliver and the impact it's going to have on the people in the room, to think, where was that when I was starting out in business, and could I actually implement it now, and the benefits from it also?
Yeah, because we're not taught, I wasn't taught how to run a business. There is, obviously there's ways in which we can do that, but yeah, it was kind of, I think this is the pragmatic tools and advice that you need to walk away with, so that you know how much profit you're making, so that you know what is actually good for you to do versus not good. This is a waste of your time because this is how much you're actually making from it. And I think that when people see these numbers as we walk through the day, they're going to be a little bit shocked and maybe astounded as to see how much they're actually making and taking home, which is why it's great for us to be working together, because you can help them add that zero and I can help them create an experience that their customers haven't experienced with them or anybody else like them before. And I think those two things coming together enable a business to be more sustainable, not just with the customers that they have, but with the money that they're making, that feast and famine thing that we've been talking about, and also how to create consistency within their business so that they can actually take a step back to a point.
So what do people need to do, Amanda? They've watched the video. There's a link below. What do people need to do next in order to be able to access and benefit from everything that we've been talking about?
Well, the first and foremost thing is click on the link. And if you feel that this is the right thing for you right now, because you're at a crossroads or a turning point, you might be pivoting, you might be thinking, this isn't working and I don't know why. I've been trying it for a while and I need to have a different perspective. I need to say this, though, that the way in which we work is not the same as everybody else. And I'm not saying that to be different. I'm not saying that to show off. I'm not saying that to try and get people to sign up. I'm serious about this. We are literally telling you how to do this. So you're not going to walk away with a booklet of notes and then never do something about it. You're going to do something about these notes because of what they tell you and how you can move forward. So not only are you going to get the action steps, not only are you going to get the actual tools that you need to move forward, you're going to know exactly what you need to do by the time you leave. So what I would say is click on the link, have a look at the information. If we can answer any other questions for you, let us do so. But also get that ticket booked, because there's only a couple of days left. And also, we don't know if we're going to do this again, because, Jay does things his way, I do things my way. And being a married couple, it's not that we're disagreeing with everything, but we just work in a very different way. And to combine that has been interesting, shall we say. So all I'm saying is take a look at what we've got to offer, because I think it's special and I think it is different and it will be experiential. You have to be in the room. That's why we can't do this on Zoom, because there are things that you're going to want to ask, things that you're going to feel, things that are going to come up for you. based on some of this stuff. And to be fair, we've only given you 3 of the sessions. There's 8 sessions in total. So yeah, it's exciting. So that's what I would do if I were you.
Amen. Grab it while you can, because you don't know how long it's going to last.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing you on the 14th.
Yeah. Take care. And as I said, if you've got any questions, let us know. All right.